Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we're going to return to Fleetwood Mac, who we have seen a few other times in some really notorious situations. Like one was at the Playboy After Dark show. I think that was Rattlesnake Shake. But we've also watched Albatross and Oh Well and Black Magic Woman. Today we're going to look at another song from way back in the early days of Fleetwood Mac, long before the Buckingham Nicks era. This is from 1968, and it's a song called Homework. I don't even know if this made any of their albums, but it is typical of what they used to play back then, and they're playing it at this party that is really interesting. They've got a whole lot of big-name acts at this thing. I mean, it's televised, it's a television show, and it's an hour and a half long, probably aired in Paris, because it says New Year's Eve Paris, and it had The Who, The Small Faces, Pink Floyd, The Troggs, Joe Cocker, but also Fleetwood Mac. Some of them mimed, like The Who mimed all the way through, but Fleetwood Mac appears to be performing live. This is the 5-man lineup, so they've got Mick Fleetwood on drums and John McVie on bass. Same two guys on bass and drums that the band had for their entire career. And then we have Peter Green on guitar, also Jeremy Spencer, who I think in this one might be playing piano. I'm not sure about that. And then Danny Carwan. So, Adrian, have you any experience with this band back then besides what we've looked at on the channel?
Not very much.
There are also other Fleetwood Mac lineups in between this one and the Buckingham Nicks era that are also worth checking out. So if you have anything you want to suggest to us, please do so. But in the meantime, we're going to take a look at this. We'll give our thoughts afterwards. All right, let's check it out.
D'Angleterre, ce sont des puristes du blues, Fleetwood Mac.
Okay, so Adrian, what'd you think of that?
I thought it was pretty cool. It was a classic love song, the story of teenage hormones, which is what rock and roll was all about in the beginning. I don't know. I for some reason, when I started hearing the song, I started thinking about blues and boogie woogie. It's almost like if you had to have them like meet halfway between or something like that, maybe it would sound like that.
Yeah. Well, it's not actually a Fleetwood Mac Penn song.
That was my next question, is if this was a cover song.
First recorded and released by Otis Rush in 1962. And it kind of sounded like that, It sounded like one of those singles that you would hear out of the R&B circuit. I mean, it wasn't Howlin' Wolf, but it was kind of something along those lines, And they do have other songs in their repertoire that I believe were on Howlin' Wolf records. So it's right up their alley. I like the sound of all those Fender amps up there. It was just a great sound that the band had. Certainly rock and roll early days. Peter Green looked positively healthy, like the healthiest I've ever seen him. No facial hair whatsoever. He seemed to be right on top of things. In some of those later clips that we see, which often are in 1970, he's looking a little bit more haggard, like he's got some facial hair. Maybe he's still there, but it wasn't long before he left the band, and it turned out that he was suffering from schizophrenia, which they came to diagnose later on. And that was a big part of why he left the band. I mean, he left the band and he wanted to give away all his money, just kind of turn over a whole new leaf in life. And a kind of extreme that comes along once in a while, when people are sick. So happily, he was still able to do music once in a while. But I mean, this is him right in his heyday and looking very healthy. So that's probably the earliest clip I've ever seen of him performing, as a matter of fact.
All right. Well, I really like this version of Fleetwood Mac, I have to say.
Yeah. We just looked at Dreams by the Greystones, as a matter of fact. It was just nice to see them actually performing a song that's 48 years old, that we listen to all the time when it was a new song. Oh, my goodness. But what are you going to do? It's just nice to know that those songs live on. There are other incarnations of Fleetwood Mac that, like I said in the earlier in the video, that I'd really like to check out. That a lot more Danny Caruana, for example, the Bob Welch years. There's some really nice stuff in there. So if you have favorites, by all means, let me know and let me see what I can do. If you have any history on the song, let us know. If you ever saw Fleetwood Mac back in that time period, we'd love to hear about that. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed the presentation, please subscribe. All right. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right. Take care, folks.
See you all later.